All right,
Hello,
welcome.
everybody.
Hello, welcome to Never Enough Gaming. Never Enough Gaming, where we just cover specific games from front to back and give our thoughts on them. I'm Justin, and here with me is Demon and Style. Hi,
Yo,
guys.
that's me right here, man. The Stylesman. What's up?
Yeah,
Hello, Demon of the Four here at your service.
awesome. So, how are you guys today?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I'm excited for this little conversation that we got going on right here.
Oh, yeah. So,
Mhm.
what y'all been playing lately? Anything cool?
Well, I've been going over Darksiders recently just to refresh my memory of the game. Other than that, I've been playing some Bayonetta, and I've been preparing some Bayonetta project that I've just recently released. And I've got, yeah, so mainly just hack and slash games and the whole lot.
Oh, yeah, I need to get into Bayonetta. I've never played any of them, so.
And I am currently just trying to get back into my art and trying to expand my horizons. I starting to work digitally again instead of traditionally on paper. I used to work with MS Paint a lot, but now I get to upgrade, so let's see how that does.
What do you use now?
I'm working traditionally right now. I'm probably going to get on to my tablet. Hopefully, once I figure out how that goes.
Nice.
Make sure you share your work with me, yeah, because I'm always interested to see what you do. Like from what you showed me last time, yeah, your work was really good, man.
Yeah, same here. It was really good.
Thank you very much. I have to show you some of my MS Paint work too, then, because that's when I really started producing stuff like pretty much on the daily.
Hell yeah, do it. Yeah, feel free to share all that stuff on the Discord. Um, so awesome. This episode, we're talking about Darksiders, which is a hack and slash adventure game developed by Vigil Games and published by THQ in 2010. And
Mhm.
this was my first experience with the game. Uh, you both have experience, like quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
a huge
yes.
Darksiders fan. Yeah, Demon.
Oh yeah, massive fan. If anyone knows me, Darksiders is almost like lifeblood.
Yeah, you see, Demon dropped into my stream previously, like last night, when I was playing Darksiders, yeah, and she is the biggest Darksiders geek I have ever come across in my entire Darksiders gaming career, and I'm actually very fortunate to have met her because she's absolutely crazy about Darksiders, but in all the right ways. Yeah.
Great, looks like
Yep,
I
I'm nuts.
found the right person.
Yeah, I'm a Darksiders fanatic.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say that I'm also very passionate about Darksiders. It's one of my most favorite franchises. It's not quite up there, but I really enjoy the franchise. I really love the characters and the settings and the lore and all that kind of stuff. So I just love it. Even playing through the games, the gameplay is fantastic for a lot of these games. Yeah. The
uh,
only Darksiders game that I've not played is Genesis, but other than that, I really enjoy the Darksiders franchise.
If you play
before.
Genesis, sorry,
Oh, you're
if you
fine.
play through Genesis, you'll actually really enjoy it if you play it with like a friend or something, because it's fun to make fun inside of Genesis.
Yeah, me and my friend played about half of Genesis, and we both really enjoyed it. Even that was before I played any Darksider game. So my first Darksiders game was actually Genesis.
Was it Genesis, really?
Yeah,
Oh
but
man.
I liked what I played.
Uh,
It's now after playing the first Darksiders, it's very strange that they went that route. But
I
All right.
fell in love with Genesis really quick. I still do not like the camera angle. Oh goodness, I hate it.
yeah, there's some
Everything else
parts.
makes up for it, but
Yeah,
like I really would be like this game would have my soul if it just had the right camera perspective, which I got to see through glitch playing on YouTube and some accidents that happened on my playthroughs with some of my friends that I would play with. And I got to see Mayhem, Strife's horse, up close, which he looks beautiful.
That's
I
cool.
got to see how the Dredgelands looked like up close with everything looked really good inside of Genesis third person proper, and I even have screenshots of Genesis in third person
Ooh, I'd
proper.
like to see those.
Oh yeah,
And
I've seen them
I
actually.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, why don't you have it like this? It doesn't have to look like perfect as like all AAA games out there. This is just
Right.
really good. This is true intimate playing. This is what I would like. It doesn't feel so intimate with the character when it's not proper third person and it's like isometric. It's like it's trying to push you out of the action, so to speak.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be definitely a more bland experience playing it just by yourself. It definitely helped with two people.
Oh yeah.
Well then,
I
guys, I need somebody to play Darksiders Genesis with. This is what I'm
uh
being told right now.
well yes.
Yeah, if you want to play it, I'd recommend it. Yeah,
I
being a
Oh,
could
second
try. Do
person.
you have a PlayStation or
no,
Switch?
I'm strictly a PC gamer.
I could probably try to buy it on Steam because I think this PC finally does have the ability to run Genesis on it. Oh, when Genesis was on Stadia, that dead system console that was never a console, that was a whatever you are, Stadia, you're gone now.
What's a Stadia? I've never heard of it.
Oh, it was something that Google
I'm
decided
joking,
to
I'm
try.
joking, I'm joking. I know what a Stadia is. I'm joking.
Oh, sorry. Whatever it was trying to accomplish, it failed.
Yeah, I don't. I've seen so many articles about the Stadia, but and then it just kind of disappeared. When did that thing even like actually come out?
Like,
Close to when Genesis was actually about to release on. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it was a Genesis launch, actually. They
Oh,
launched Genesis on PC and Stadia first.
huh.
And then, like, I think either a couple of months or a year later, no, it was a couple of months later, it was on Valentine's Day that they released Genesis on console.
They released they released on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
it's poor
nice.
timing, man. I see.
Yeah.
You see, this is why I never heard of Stadia because I don't care about Valentine's Day. It makes perfect sense now.
Well, they released it on console on Valentine's Day. Stadia and PC was like a couple of months before.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
I tried so hard. I was like, I want to play this game and I don't want to spoil it, but oh, why do they do this? Why do they have to make like mixed releases like this?
Yeah.
It is a
But
shame.
I managed to make myself play it completely um spoiler free. And on the PlayStation 4 where I first played it with my friend, oh, there was this before they patched it out, in the Void where you talk to Samael and Vulgrim the most.
Yeah.
You Samael and Vulgrim, well, everyone was kind of fine, but Samael with his voice effects, they had the echo effect in the Void really high at the first release. So you would hear like intense echoing from when the characters would speak. And it would actually be so bad that it would cut off the characters talking, so they would literally be interrupting themselves. Until you got to Samael, to where you literally were stuck reading his subtitles because for everybody else, it's like, well, you could kind of make out what they're saying, but for Samael, he was like, oh, it's like, oh goodness me, like,
That's
Fair, fair,
awesome.
fair.
It's kind of fun, playing games when they first release, so you can see that shit like that. It's kind of charming. Like people make mistakes.
yeah, it's a thing, and I was like, is there a way to turn that down? But hey, that's all right.
So shall we get into Darksiders proper?
Yeah, let's start talking
Yes,
about Darksiders, man.
we
We're
have
Hell
any
just
yeah.
more?
we're all
So
becoming too much of Darksiders nerds. We'll talk about everything else besides Darksiders 1 right now.
I mean, it's a good franchise
It
from
is a good
what I've
franchise.
played, which is only the first and last one.
Oh, you've got some work to do.
I know a lot of people whereby 2 being the best one. So,
People say 2 is the best one, and I will not disagree with it, but each and every game has their own, something about them that, outdoes the previous game in some way.
right.
Darksiders 1, I feel like Ruin, when you get him, he is the most powerful horse. He feels the most powerful, especially when you charge and you press the
Oh
triangle
yeah.
button to stomp on the grounds. He's genuinely a very powerful and I think personally faster horse.
I just wish Ruin wasn't so limited.
Mm.
Like the how much you actually get to use them.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's...
that's I was thinking this. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing
If you
actually.
put Ruin in the Dead Kingdom of Darksiders 2, chances are Ruin would just conquer that land and really give the player, a power trip, just friggin' torpedoing through that land.
Does playing as does the horse in Darksiders 2 not play as well
Well, he
mechanically or feel?
does.
They
He
feel the
does. He
same,
just
yeah.
feels, well, not necessarily the same. Despair feels a lot more lighter. He's not as fast. His dodge, not his dodge, sorry, his dash doesn't have that same amount of power. He doesn't, he's a lot more of a feather kind of horse. He doesn't feel like the power trip when you start playing with him. He feels um, well, he definitely feels like Death's horse in terms of uh personality in a little way. He's harder to it's not that he's harder to control, but he's doesn't stay in the fast mode the way that
Uh,
Ruin does, as well as Ruin does.
mm, fair
Hmm.
enough. Is there a lot more platforming and stuff with the horse jumping around and all that in the second one? I mean, I assume
Mm,
there's a lot more use for it in the second one.
Not that I can
well,
remember.
not by much. There's
Oh, really?
I hate to spoil this for you. There's but one boss fight where you use despair as a aid. And
Kind
then
of
they
like how
kind of
there's
just quit. They were like, all right, there's our horse battle, the end.
That's
kind of
it.
what
I
they did
forgot.
with the first one.
Sorry, I was wondering what his name was. Is right, Despair. Yeah, I was trying to remember the horse's name in Darksiders 2.
Yeah, I didn't know it either.
I know them off by heart.
Hell yeah. You're
I
the
draw
expert.
them religiously. Religiously? Religiously.
Religically. Hell yeah. Religically. I like that word though.
Sorry.
So the game opens up with, I mean, I love the intro to this game. It just kind of drops you in it. The apocalypse is happening on Earth. Heaven and hell are fighting. Just badass opening. And you drop in what looks like, you look like a meteor crashing down pretty much. Just,
hmm
does it ever explain how exactly that works? Like
Um,
getting
well, what
from,
I think from theory standpoint is there's the atmosphere of Earth, which basically lights anything on fire. So heaven and Earth are at war, but from what I'm seeing is both demons and angels are descending. No one's crawling up from the Earth at all.
right.
Everybody's descending. And they're coming from their own world onto Earth. And as they enter the atmosphere, there's where your meteor is, basically.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like I said, we can talk about spoilers and stuff here, right?
Oh yeah, all
Okay.
spoilers are off. We're good.
Spoiler
Okay.
warning, everybody who may listen. Spoiler warning if you do not want anything spoiled for this game series. If you are wanting to play it completely blind, listen to this after you have enjoyed the series by your
Right.
little lonesome and
Or
with
at least the
Genesis
first
with
game.
your friend.
Yeah, or at least the first game. At the very least, the first game. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so as I was playing through the game and trying my best to piece everything together again, if you're talking about the effects of why they come down as meteors and whatever, I'm just assuming that's just how it is. Yeah, but if you're talking about how it all comes together and how this entire scenario happens, Demon, you can correct me on this. Yeah, it all has to do with the seals being broken, and if those seals
Hmm.
are broken, it will trigger the end war, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
Basically,
exact.
what
Yeah.
Abaddon did was, if you read the comics, and especially if you play through Genesis, he's kind of a warmonger. He's always trying to find a way to end all of Hell's existence. Always.
Ah,
There's a book called The Abomination Vault where Abaddon literally created a light nuke that he tried to set off in Hell that War was sent to destroy because that would just really set stuff off pretty badly. So, yeah,
pretty
Abaddon
awesome.
is a massive warmonger. So, for him, basically being a hypocrite, saying, after Azrael's like, to question him is to question the creator. Do you believe you know better? To which he confidently responds with, yes, old friend, I do. Like, excuse you, it's a demon's job to be this way, not yours, Mr. Angel. Mr. has to do everything right by the creator standards. Excuse you, questioning your god, basically. That's a demon's job, and you're doing that. So, yeah, he's a warmonger. He destroys all but one of the Seven Seal, which I actually own a replica of the Seventh Seal.
Ooh,
You
nice.
actually okay, fair enough.
I
I
own
should
a
have expected
replica
that. Yeah.
of the Seventh Seal because it has the four horses on it.
Ah,
And yeah, it's that one that he didn't destroy.
hmm,
Because he was not wanting to, as Azrael says, we dare not involve the horsemen until it was too late, basically.
yeah.
So, yeah, this is basically all a thing that Abaddon started, and like Ulthane says, angels with ambition have always fouled things up for the rest of us, even though, I'm sorry, darling, you are also a part of it.
Yeah. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, though, right, Justin?
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's nice having that more background on Abaddon, really.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know about these comics. You know what, Demon, you're gonna have to share
Me
these
neither.
comics with me. I would like to give them a read through.
Yeah,
There's
I would
two
too.
comics. There's two comics in existence. Yes, I own both. And there is one really thick novel called The Abomination Vault, which, yes, I also own.
Okay, check
Oh,
those
cool.
out.
You would
Um,
probably enjoy reading them. The art styles in the first comic is my favorite art style. Death's Door also has a nice style, but it's not as nice as the first comic. And Abomination Vault is written very, very nicely. Death, he's very clever in how he uses his words in this particular novel. Very clever.
Mhm. Death has
hmm.
always got away with words, man. For some reason, Death is just so poetic. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, yes, he's probably part of the reason why I talk as formally as I tend to, because I've spent hours in Darksiders 2 that I think some of his speech patterns rubbed off on me.
So wait, your voice is inspired by Death, yeah? And the way you talk is inspired by Death.
Well, not my voice is inspired by
Ah,
death, but
yeah,
like,
you know exactly. You know what I mean, man.
Yeah.
this is no place for horse. Acid vodka. My brothers and sister drive me to drink, please. But no, I'm basically like it's a mixture. The way I am formal, I'm always formal because I always kind of like view the speech patterns in all of Darksiders as like really, really grand because in all of the game of Darksiders, they are able to convey many emotions very well and very clearly without ever having to drop a swear. And that is not what a
You know
lot
what?
of games today can ever claim.
I
That's a
agree. The
good
script
point.
in Darksiders is fantastic.
I didn't think about that. That's true. Yeah, not a single curse word in this game, is there?
There's but one, and it
There
is
is, yeah.
uttered by the Watcher at the end of the first game.
Ah, okay.
Demon knows her stuff, bro. She knows these games inside out, man. She's like the protector of Darksiders, man. That's the new title you're going to have to give her.
Protector.
No, I'm just obsessive. I play these
There's
games
nothing wrong with that.
religiously. I draw it religiously. Like, I have an entire original comic that I'm going to be having with the Servant, the Demon of the Four, Fury, and War, basically going to stop a Demon King called Asmodeus from using the ultimate creation object outside of God, which is the Philosopher's Stone. They have to go and get that back from him, and that's going to be quite a challenge.
Oh,
So, yep.
you're talking about the stone that's in my back garden right now. That stone.
Oh, you have the Philosopher's
Yeah,
Stone there. Well,
yeah.
you're gonna
I
have
thought I'd let you
some.
know a bit late.
You're gonna have a demon back there trying to take it. He'll just so see ya and
Yeah,
hop
it's
over
alright,
your
man.
fence.
It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Trust me. I've got the state of the art anti-demon security spray. Yeah,
He's
all
got a
sprayed all
spray,
over the
guys.
fences. You see that? So it's like
Which
that episode of SpongeBob, anti-alien spray.
Demon be
Yeah,
gunk.
right.
yeah, alien repellent. But anyway, yeah, let's move on, man.
Yeah, but that's just how my comic's gonna go.
That sounds pretty damn awesome, actually. So, like, pretty fun story. You have to send that our way.
Oh yeah, I'll try to. I mean, I have a infamous habit of starting a story and never finishing it. I literally have a novel written for the Demon of the Four, where she is tasked to go to this world that is much more pure and holy than God himself, that angels jealously try to invade and steal said light from, that she is basically sent to deal with the corrupted lord of said world. Yeah, that was how it was going to go, and I started that years ago, and I'm not even through chapter 1.
You'll get back around to it. These things take time.
Yeah, well, I have a whole bunch of stories in my childhood all the way up to now where I have never finished them. I go, this will be great, and then,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yes, Darksiders 1 questions. Go ahead.
So, let's see. You start off, you drop into this war, pretty much, as war. And the game just throws you in. You take control right here, and you get to kill some nice demons. I think the demons look great in this game. I think all the enemies really look pretty great. Um, especially the crawling demons here, the ones that kind of look cut in half.
I think when it comes to the demon design of this
Those.
game, it's good. Like for example, there's some really good ones. There's Samael, there's Volgrim, and then there's the lesser demons that you come across in the world that you fight against. I think one thing that's a huge letdown for me is the lack of enemy variety, in a sense that you fight one type of demon, yeah, but then you have like two different variants of that one type of demon.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they do this for like four different. So you got like the skeletons, you got a variant of those guys. You have the guys with the swords, different variants of those guys, like two, three different types of variants. I think there's like three variants for each kind of enemy. I would rather there be like different types of enemies with different weapons and different abilities, rather than just same enemy, different like skin,
right.
uses the same moves.
I
Yeah.
think
Very, very valid criticism there. As a huge fan of Darksiders and somebody who would defend it to heck and back, I will say that there are criticisms out there, like Styles here, for example, that are very valid. There should be a lot more variety in enemy design and execution moves. They're all the same, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And my own personal gripe with it, and sorry, this is me just being the horse girl that I am. For a game about horsemen, there's a very saddening lack of actual horse riding.
that's valid. Yeah, that's very true.
It's like, I am a horseman. Yes, you are. Where's your horse? It's not important.
Like the whole time you spend, like, let's cut out that angelic beast section and, you know, do something with the horse.
I remember, like, when I first started playing Darksiders, um, I didn't try to summon Ruin in the beginning section because I was too busy, like, being too into the beginning section, loving the fact that, I'm used to games having, like, bias, like, all angel good, all demon bad, kill demon, make angel happy, like,
Right. Yeah.
like, I was so used to that, and I was like, oh, look, and, like, this beginning part, I was like, oh, look, the angels, they're probably who we have to ally with, whoopee, until I saw War go, yeehaw, and off go the wings on one angel, and I'm like, okay, well, there you go, I guess I'm in love with this game. There's no bias between either or factions. They're treated equally. Alright? Now you have my attention.
You know, actually, that's one thing I find very interesting about this game because it's not, it's like a demon just mentioned here as well. When you think of like angels and demons, you think, okay, all good faction, all bad faction. But in
Hmm.
Darksiders, the world of Darksiders is not like that. Like every single demon has their own motives. Every single angel has their own motives. Just earlier in this discussion too, we talked about how Abaddon is constantly a warmonger. This is not the kind of trait that you would see normally in an angel, but
Right.
he's always wanting the destruction of the other faction, and everyone's treated equally. You have the kingdom of the angels, you have the kingdom of the demons, and you have the kingdom of man. Yeah, all destined to be ready to go to war with each other when every faction was ready enough for it. You know?
When everybody was of equal power,
Yeah.
and as the council says, like, all that's wicked in creation, whether it be the lords of heaven, the sons of men, or the dregs of hell, the wicked shall be punished by four horsemen, yada yada yada. But when Azrael talks with Abaddon, but while he's destroying the seals, he says, Earth is not yet strong enough, it will be destroyed. Like, the angels especially are well aware of the human population and how they are not at the ability or the capability to stand up against, in this universe, in this particular lore, the two strongest um, entities, species in the universe, the greatest light and the greatest dark coming together to fight on Earth. They are not ready for that. And at least Azrael's well aware of this until Abaddon's like, well, we'll crush the Dark Ones before it's even begun. Like, yeah, no, honey. That's not how it's gonna work. What you're gonna do is go, I summon demons. Oh, wait, they actually live here. Humans actually live here. Whoops.
Oh, and another very interesting thing too. So we talked about everyone having their own motives, despite the fact they could be angel, demon, or human, for example, and there's also the Nephilim side. But then you also have the Charred Council, who are how do I describe it? How is the best way that I describe the Charred Council? They're beings that are there that carry out the sacred law of the Creator. Is that the best way for me to describe them, Demon?
Um, well, for me, who is not a very big particular fan of the Charred Council because of their corrupt ways, I think the best way to talk about them is the nice guy trope, as in they keep up their image of what the creator intended for them to do, but they're more
Yeah.
interested in gaining power rather than keeping balance. So they're
Yeah,
basically three know-it-all heads.
yeah. So that's exactly what I mean because you see, everyone's got their own motives. Normally, when you think of the Creator's own, like I'm using the word employees here. Imagine that, just employees. The Child Council are the creator's employees. Yeah. But you would think because of that there would be these
What's that make them
all
for?
all good beings that would want the best for the universe and carry out the will of the creator. But no, they even have directives of their own. You see? So everyone's got their own motives, their own directives, despite the fact that so normally what you would associate with each faction is not always the case in Darksiders, and that's what makes it very interesting to me.
Yeah, like, I personally believe that all factions, like, are corrupt in their own way.
You make your way through fighting all these enemies, and like we just talked about, it's so cool. You see the angels and demons fighting, and you're like, all right, obviously you got to kill the demons. Then you start fighting the angels, and you hit that execution move, and you just slice their wings off all brutally. You're like, okay, guess I'm fighting everything.
Yeah, it made me, like, as I said before, it really made me pay attention to the game because I am used to the whole angel good, demon bad, make demon die in most other games that I play that has this aesthetic and has this, like, this roll around it. Like, maybe it's another reason why I enjoy playing Bayonetta, because you're a dark being fighting against angels with very, provocative
Yeah.
ways. Very
Well,
nice guillotine there, love. What? Oh, and she spanked him right into that particular trap, like.
Hell yeah.
And to think that was a design made by a woman for a woman to look at. So apparently, Bayonetta, off topic, is meant for gay women to look at and straight men. So take that information as you will.
okay, this is taking a very strange turn.
I know. Back to topic.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still game related. Yeah.
But yeah, that's another interesting thing. Back to the topic. I was going to be talking about when we talk about fighting the angels as well. Yeah, I just find that so interesting because you're just sent there as a being made to punish the guilty. Yeah, this just shows the demons are guilty. Yeah, the angels are guilty.
Everyone's
And I'm
guilty.
not entirely sure, but you can actually, in the beginning section, there's no humans that are there that you can slice up, right?
There are, yes. There's
Yeah.
cops and stuff that legit. Okay,
Yeah, there is.
I'm
If they
going
can, you
to.
just slice them up too, innit?
Yeah, and they're running away. They're all confused. Like they're not really doing too well for themselves. They run away. They get killed like easy. I mean, literally in like chaos form, you could accidentally step on one and that's it. Poor things.
I did.
Yeah. Call this a little bit of a sadist in myself, but I actually remember clearing an entire area out in the beginning part of this game, and all that was left alive was this one human cop, and bless this guy's soul for trying so hard to stand up to me by shooting his teeny tiny little pistol that literally doesn't do anything to our health or nothing. He's just shooting at us, doing no damage, but he's trying, and then you get a little near him, and then he trips over himself, runs away, gets a little bit of distance, and tries to open fire on you again. And then I just, slice one slice. That's it. A little sadist in me, toy with him for a little bit, and sliced him in two. It was sorry.
It's fine, dude. You see, we punish the guilty. It was probably a corrupt cop anyway. Punish the guilty.
That's right. Yeah.
That cop was corrupt anyway. That guy was using the system for his little child porn ring. I mean, whoops.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, we went right there.
Well, you went right there, man.
Yeah, man, I went right there. Whoopsie.
I wonder if something happened. I wonder if you try to use the grab move on one of the humans.
I tried. Nothing happens.
I was hoping you'd grab them like little zombie enemies and just pop them like you do to them.
You guys are so
Swing 'em
dark,
around.
bro. Honestly, man. You just start thinking of all the different kinds of ways you can kill these humans, man. Just leave them alone, bro. Play the game.
Play the game as they accidentally get, like, sliced up in the middle of fire as they accidentally run into our sword. Yeah, that happened to me once. I'm just, like, slicing this one stalker down, which is those trolling little fellas.
Okay.
Yeah, stalker. And if you actually want to take them out in 3 hits, just, like, dash in directly into them 3 times.
That dash attack move is so good.
It's not the dash attack, you just nudge them with the dash attack. Like, not even the dash attack, you just nudge, you dash into them. no attack. You just nudge him to death, basically, 3 times.
Huh. Interesting.
And they can't do anything because they're always recoiling from your aggressive nudge. And well, I tried to pick up this human and it didn't work too well. What happened is nothing. And it'd be kind of funny if War just, like, snatched one up off the ground and gave him a hug. Like, it's gonna be okay. Before, you know,
through this.
This'll be just fine. I'm here to help. I'm War. I'm here to save the day.
I'm sure we can make that mod. Yeah.
I don't want a mod like that. No, thank you. I'd rather be War of the 4 Horsemen, not War the Tree Hugger. Okay.
Tree Hugger, War the Human Hugger. We were not talking about hugging trees. We were talking about hugging a random human.
I want to slice and dice some stuff. Okay, that's why I play Darksiders, to embrace the dark side. Yeah, not to embrace my angelic donut eating side.
Ew, not a fan of those.
Yeah, see.
Oh, yes. But yeah, the beginning part really did grab my attention and made me really pay attention to everything that this game was going to offer me. When I started, yeah, it was like I was like, oh, I'm just going to take a break from Devil May Cry 4 for a while, and that's when I started playing Darksiders for the first time, and, you know, I fell in love in the first 10 minutes, and I was like, yay, this is not too bad. And, you know, I like the fact that they're not, like, vilifying one side and, like, grandualizing the other. They are on equal footing, and I appreciate that. That makes this game truly unique, in my opinion, where they don't, like, put one on a pedestal and one in the dirt.
Right, yeah.
So,
a lesser game would just give you your assignment, go kill demons, or they wouldn't give you the motives of any of these characters. I think they give you pretty good amount of...
I think what she means is, so it's like I was saying earlier, when you think of a faction, you think, okay, demons bad, angels good, but in this game, angels, you don't know, and demons, you don't know.
Yeah, it adds a little mystery to both sides, because in Darksiders, angels and demons, they're just a species that happens to exist with influence on, like, they don't even have an influence from one side or another. They are the perfect yin and yang symbols perfectly. One with, like, darkness completing them, but they all have a little bit of light in them. That's the demon side. There's the light side, which is they have all light in them, but they all have a little bit of darkness in them as well. So, like, that's why they're able to be, like, maybe a demon could be purified in a way that would make them help out for the greater good. That would make that little lightness in them, you know, act up. And then there's, like, what Abaddon is doing, being a warmonger. He may be an angel, a pure being, but he's letting his darkness take over him, such as that little black dot in the yin and yang symbol. So, like, I'm basically thinking, like, they all are of light and dark, but they lean more towards one and the other. That's why a demon is a demon and an angel is an angel. But they are so similar that they managed to create, in this lore, the Nephilim. And if you know anything about the Nephilim, they've managed to procreate to being a species, an entire people, which means that they were born fertile. Most hybrids are not born fertile, which means angels and demons are more genetically related than some would like to admit.
What's the next storytelling, Justin?
Yes, what's the next section here?
Well, after you cut off some wings and do what I did, which was learn that the best weapon in the game is cars.
Yeah, cars are fun.
Oh, yeah.
Even what? Best weapon in the games are cars. Listen, shut the podcast down right now. We'll restart it. Restart the podcast. How dare you, bro? Yeah.
If you want to be a wimp,
everybody knows it's all about the Chaos Eater blade. That's where that's where all the juicy stuff lies, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, me with my collection of Chaos Eater memorabilia will tell you that,
Yeah,
yes,
you see,
Chaos Eater is the best thing in the world.
she even's got two replicas of the thing. She doesn't have two replicas of Darksiders vehicles on the side of the street. No, yeah, two
Here's
Chaos
my ruined
Eater
car.
replicas. Yeah, you
Yeah,
see.
you don't
Here's my
need
ruined car. Let me pick it up.
you don't need chaos. You just need rusted metal. That's all you need
No,
to kill a demon.
no,
Use
no,
this
no, no.
rusted pole as I eat it in your
It's,
direction.
Justin, if you keep this up, I'm leaving your podcast right now. Okay?
Do
Yeah,
not insult Chaos Eater.
yeah.
Best weapon or
Listen.
the speed limit signs you pick up.
Are you serious? Nah, 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 nah. Nah. You don't do the Chaos Eater like that. Listen, it's that, the Scythe, and the Meteor Gauntlet. Okay, obviously, the
Meteor
primary.
Gauntlet,
Oh yeah,
Meteor Gauntlet, Harvester, or whatever. What is the name of the scythe that Vulgrim gives us that isn't Harvester?
Scythe. It's called Scythe. It's
yeah. It is just
literally
called
called
Okay,
Scythe.
hi
Scythe.
Scythe. Let's give it a little bit of an accent so it has a name. Hello Seath. Anyway,
So,
so
The
yeah,
we use
man.
Seath or Harvester, Meteor Gauntlets, Chaos Eater. Yeah, those guys are fun. Watching his stream the other day, I've never seen the Meteor Gauntlets be used so much in a playthrough. That's actually
You
really
see,
cool.
she's talking about my playthrough. Okay, basically, all right. Let's put this into perspective here. The reason I say this, yeah, that those three weapons are so important. Obviously, they're your primary and secondary weapons. But the thing is, the way that they are applied in gameplay and combat is very differently. It's very different if you actually know what you're doing, or if you're an experienced hack and slash player like myself.
you can do some great
Yes.
combos with them.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, you can't do combos with cars. Okay? You can't do that. Yeah, you can do a bit of styling with cars.
Use your sign. You can't use your sign or your cars, but I have my gauntlets and my sword. You can't do nothing with
Yeah, you
those.
see, 2% of stylish, of style potential lies within cars you find on the side of the street. Okay?
Yeah, you
The
can do the old,
rest,
old
yeah.
reliable pick up and put down combo
No, no,
of the
no, no,
car.
no, 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 not the all reliable pick up and put down combo. Okay? The reliable, always reliable sword, scythe, and gauntlet combos. Okay? That's what you
You're,
rely on. Okay?
you know what?
Because
When
honestly,
when you're in a building, you are absolutely correct.
no. When you're in a building and outside the building. So, because here's the thing, right? This is what makes Darksiders great. It's the combat. The combat of Darksiders is one of the highlights of the game.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
said, granted, if you know what you're doing, how to use all your tools and weapons combos effectively, all your special moves properly, you can make some really good combos. Yeah, you can every si- not every single tool that you have as well, because you have your primary and secondary weapons, and then also you have these items that you collect as you progress through the game. You have the revolver like Mercy, you have the abyssal chain, you have
crossblade.
the crossblade, and you also have the horn.
Forgot about the abyssal chain. Oh, I love that thing.
Yeah, I forgot what the horn is called, but
The
basically,
earth caller.
yeah, Earth Caller.
Thank
So
you, hon. I
basically,
was trying to think about that.
yeah. So these four items are used as tools for you to help progress in the game, but also these are tools that you can use inside of combat.
Oh
And
yeah,
every single tool has its own unique purpose. Yeah, and as well as if you want to really explore the depths of combat when it comes to Darksiders, there's lots of different kinds of special techniques you can find with each weapon. I need to give my shout out to one person here. Yeah, because he was in my stream for like two Darksiders sessions that I was doing streaming on Twitch. Right, his name is Apocalypse. So Apocalypse, if you're listening to this right now, you're an absolute superstar, because this guy, he was in my stream and he's an expert Darksiders player, and he was telling me all of these different kinds of
Chances are
techniques.
we'll link this entire thing to you anyway, Apocalypse. So nice talking to you about creating new hollows in Darksiders 3.
Yeah, so Yeah, Demon was there too. She knows what I'm talking about. But basically, yeah. So he was telling me all of these different kinds of techniques, special techniques, that you could do in Darksiders that I had not known about before. And I'm an experienced player, yeah. And he was there showing me all of these different kinds of special tech and features, and it just blew my mind.
What kind of
And it's
combos were you
just
doing?
Oh,
it's such a
it
pleasure.
was like a dance. They managed to make wars like combat that people constantly complain is slow and sluggish, which is always wrong. I don't care
It
what
always,
anyone says.
yeah, it's up to the
This guy
player.
managed to help style here into creating basically a dance on the battlefield. He was like using the Tremor Gauntlet, the Chaos Eater and Scythe in like ways that made him literally fly across the battlefield. That enemies are all like, "Oh, help! We don't know. Hey, wait a minute. Can you slow
Okay,
down?"
I gotta okay. So I do have to give my credit to Apocalypse, but at the same time, yeah, and to give myself credit because yeah, listen, I did quite a few of those things before I met Apocalypse. He was showing me the special, like unique techniques to Darksiders, but the rest of it, yeah, it just all comes from like, my huge experience playing all of these different kinds of games, yeah, for a long time. So Darksiders has that potential to be just like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta.
Oh yes,
So for
it's
sure,
if anything, it's not necessarily a God of War ripoff. For one, War is a very honorable and cool character on the get-go.
Yeah,
Whereas Kratos leaves much to be desired, in my opinion, in terms of character personality. He's always been a
nice guy.
kind of a terrible guy. Yeah, nice guy. That's right. Totally nice. What am I talking about? What do I know?
He gives hugs on the battlefield. Yeah,
He gives hugs on the battlefield and shoves innocent people down throats of giant serpents and stuff. What a sweetheart.
Kratos is
Yeah,
the only person that comes to me on Valentine's Day. You see?
yeah, oh yeah, see, yeah, totally, and he's giving you all those little quick time events for all of your ladies or guys, whatever you're into.
hell yeah.
But the thing
Whoa,
is,
whoa,
is
whoa, whoa. Let's not talk about those quick time events, okay?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
the thing
he's
is
not
I
doing
don't
that
like
to me.
Kratos. I've never
Okay.
liked Kratos until like recently, but unlike Kratos,
But what about
War
now that he's a
actually.
father?
Aw, he was a father
Oh
Again,
wow,
yeah.
before. Poor
wow, so
guy.
touching, wow.
He's a father now. Whoop-de-doo. He was a father beforehand, and he's still an asshole. I still don't care.
Those
But
kids all
War
have.
on the yeah, but he
Yeah.
killed his family beforehand,
I hate bringing up
seeking
old shit. That
power.
was forever
Well, he
But
didn't
ago.
kill his family beforehand, but anyway, that's a different topic entirely.
yeah,
I don't
God, we're not
remember.
talking about God of
Yeah.
War right now. But what I'm saying is, like, unlike Kratos, is War came in as an honorable standpoint and actually does listen to the other characters' inputs very carefully. Even a boss, Silitha, he did say, "I didn't come for your advice or your stories." He doesn't like he
Right.
doesn't say that. Like he does say that, but in the end, he still did listen to her. Like
Yeah.
even though he said he wouldn't, he still did listen. He's like, "Oh, I got something to talk with Samael about later." So yeah, there's he listens, which is cool. He's also somebody who doesn't just go, "Grr, me slicey, risey, don't know, do make people bleed, yeah." No, he's more like, "Okay, I'm gonna assess the situation and see what needs to be done," and I appreciate that from War.
War has to deal with more.
Everybody blames War.
He has to think about his puzzles a lot more too than Kratos does.
Oh, he's got puzzles. Poor War. Poor War's got puzzles. He's like, "I'm here to find the guilty and slaughter." Oh,
But
blocks.
it's funny enough though, despite the fact that he's known as War, yeah, he's a lot more patient with his puzzles than Death is. Yeah, at least I
100%.
would say so. Yeah. If
Just
you've played Darksiders 2 and reached a certain point, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyway.
uh, which one was that? Because, huh, my brain's drawing a blank. When does Death get pissy with his puzzles?
Well, he was fighting against some boss, and he just becomes so irritated with all of the side stuff that he's doing. He just wants to get focused on his main objective to the point where he just becomes so threatening and tired of everything. And just
Oh,
like,
is
well,
he?
yeah, I don't know
Where's the
who it
key?
was.
It was
I
either with the scribe or the King of the Dead. What
I
is this? I don't like being toyed with. Or when he takes out his scythes, when he walks over to the scribe and says, "Where is the key?
something like that.
Where
Yeah,
is it?"
that's that. Yeah, I think it was the scribe because I remember some fat guy or something that you were
Yeah, that's the
fighting.
scribe. That
Yeah,
is the
that's the
scribe.
scribe. Yeah, yeah,
Jeremiah, that mother fudger. My intestines, and I'm gonna slap you with them. Ew.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, Justin, go ahead, man.
Yes,
I
yes,
was
next
gonna say,
part.
it's making me want to play Darksiders too. I really need to get to that
Well,
after this.
yeah, you
Hmm.
should. It's a
Put it
good
on.
game.
It's my favorite of the Darksiders trilogy.
Okay, I'll put that in the
Trilogy
schedule
and a
again.
half.
So after you end up getting to the destroyer, well, actually, you can like you see him walking around, and you can like follow behind him and stuff, which is kind of cool. He's this big old building sized.
Oh, that's not the destroyer.
Oh,
No, oh, that's that's
That's a
Straga.
construct.
You're
No,
talking about.
Straga's stuck in the floor. We're following this walking
oh,
construct, darling.
okay,
Wait,
okay,
Straga
my
comes out and goes,
bad.
Straga made squish out of
Are,
Abaddon in hand.
wait, are
Okay,
we not still talking about the beginning section or what?
Yeah,
yeah,
we
we are, we
are.
are. I just got a little confused what was happening
We're
in there.
talking
Oh,
about the angels that had the construct guy strapped down, I think, and he says
Okay,
that we
yeah.
could kind of follow that guy. That's a construct. He's an
Okay.
innocent kind of entity.
oh, it'd be like those. Oh, okay, I know who you're talking. Okay,
Tall gate fellas.
the gatekeepers.
Yeah, the
Oh, that
gatekeepers.
was the
That's a
gatekeeper.
gatekeeper.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Okay.
That was a gatekeeper, and we follow behind him. Straga's a dude that lifts up the street and makes slam, and then you throw a
Yeah,
car
yeah,
at him, and that's it. Like,
yeah. Hey. Oh, reliable.
uh-oh.
So you eventually get to this scene. I kind of got lost during this cutscene right here, before these, or after the. Well, actually, no. You fight the Straga first, and do you guys like this boss fight?
I would say honestly, the boss fights in Darksiders are a weak point in the game for me.
Except for one, because I'm a horse girl and I like sandworms too, so,
2-in-1. I like that boss.
I think
uh,
what I like
Digian.
about Darksiders is talking about the boss fights in particular, is I love the setup towards them,
Yeah.
but then when it comes to the actual boss fight, these boss fights are extremely linear. Most of them are very, very linear. There's only one way that you can go about things, so you can't really be creative. Yeah, and you have to kind of just use the same tactic to a maximum of 3 times. So it's kind of like a classic
Like Nintendo
platformer,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
platformer
like
type of boss fight.
Zelda. It's like a
Yeah,
Zelda
yeah,
fight. You use the item you found in the temple to slaughter the boss, and 3 times, like, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It would
I really
only
don't
be
like
a
that.
really Zelda game if suddenly, like, a boss falls down and there's a gigantic eyeball, and you're like, oh, there's the weak point.
Yeah, so I don't like that. I really dislike that because don't forget, we're playing as one of the four horsemen war. And the only times where you get like really sick boss fights are the boss fights where you can actually, you know, play as war, not do this tactical stuff. I don't mind tactics and combat and stuff like that, but you want to be able to, you want to have the freedom of being creative with how you tackle boss fights. And Darksiders, for the most part, does not give you that freedom.
And that's what I like about the Uriel boss fight. And
There's the Uriel boss fight, there's the Horseman boss fight from the
yeah,
arena in the
yeah,
Ashlands. That was so sick, bro. I
yeah, that
love
was a
that. I
great
love
fight.
that.
Yeah.
I love
I've
that area.
actually, okay, I'm gonna talk right there. The horseman, the demon that was riding in on Ruin, I kind of adopted him as my character.
No, that's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, that's I kind of like I actually have a theory for that particular area. And it's basically the only way out of that arena is to either defeat the champion or die, basically.
Oh, also, so I just want to say two things. So you know how when you're fighting that horseman that's riding Ruin, when you take him off your horse, and War could have just killed him instantly, right? But War is such a
Gentlemen.
dude, bro. He kicks his sword back to
Yeah.
him and says, "Let's fight. Let's do this properly." Innit? So I'm like, "Oh, bro, I love this guy." Yeah,
Oh yes, I agree. I also have to give this demon proper credit as well. He is the only demon that we fight that does not yell, "Your soul is mine. I'm gonna cut off your head," or whatever kind of like threat they're like baseless threat they throw.
Yeah.
He's the only demon out there that says, "You honor me, horseman, and this fight brings me much honor." And like he's definitely somebody who's kind of like on equal footing, at least mentally, when it comes to war. He understands why war is there, and he accepts why war is there, and is willing to accept his defeat by
yes.
war. Even though,
So
like, he looked into war's eyes when he was killed, he held up true to his end of the bargain in this particular fight. So you've got to hand it to this demon. He protected Ruin through all of this time as his own horse. Keep that in mind. He
that's
protected
actually
Ruin from dying.
that's actually a good point.
Yeah, he genuinely protected Ruin for all this time, and when War came to fight him, it's almost as if Ruin and him are on the same page, like, this is where
Yeah.
I'm gonna die, and you're gonna be returned to your master. This is going to be the most honorable fight I have ever had in my life, basically. This demon knew what was gonna happen and embraced it. And when he picked up his sword to fight against War again, there was no hesitation. There was no, like, back talk. There was no, "Don't talk down to me, Ryder." Like, there was nothing like that. He was like, he silently picks it up and fights you. He does
Mhm.
not, he's one of the most honorable, what was that?
Demons.
Encounters.
Uh,
He's one of the most honorable encounters in the game. Even more honorable than Uriel, who's all friggin' blind and stuff, because, "What in heaven's name have you done?" she yells, looking down at War. I'm like, "Excuse me, do you see he as the owner of Large Hand that made mush of Abaddon? Do you see how much he is struggling literally to walk right now as his power is sapped? Yeah, this is exactly evidence to the fact that he did this by himself."
no. I would say Yuria also has honor to her because
A
when
very
she
small amount of it, comparatively
well,
speaking, to other characters.
when she did the next Necromancer with Ward, it was a one-on-one fight, and they both honored that fight. So she does have a huge degree of honor to her as well when she commits to those sacred kinds of encounters. But anyway, I wanted to mention that one boss fight in the Ashlands with the Horsemen, and I also wanted to mention the fight with Ulfane. So the
Jin.
setup is really cool when Ulfane was introduced, right? And once again, unfortunately, it's a very linear type of boss fight where you're forced to use the Chaos
Oh,
form to
hey, it's
defeat him.
Ulfin. He usually uses an attack that is a hug. Oh, would you look at that?
So,
Look at that.
Bear
so
hug.
you fight Ulfane. You're forced to use Chaos form in order to defeat Ulfane, which is very lame. The introduction and the setup and everything is really cool, but the actual boss fight itself is lame. But what comes after it is one of the highlights for the game for me. Whereas
Oh,
first of all you're fighting Orphane, and now all of a sudden these angels interrupt, and now you and Orphane are fighting together and having a competition amongst each other to see who can kill the most angels.
I like that part a lot. That was a
It's
great.
oh
so sick,
yes.
bro. I love that. I love that so much.
A
Oh
real
man,
bonding experience.
Yeah.
that's sick, bro. I just love that.
Real
See,
bonding experience.
these are the kinds of highlights that I love about the Darksiders games. At least, in Darksiders 1, we're talking about Darksiders 1 here. Stuff like this it's just out of nowhere. You don't expect it, but it's there and you love it,
Yeah.
and I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ulfane's a very interesting character too, for sure.
he gets a lot more fleshed out in the other games, doesn't he?
In
Not gonna spoil.
Darksiders, not necessarily. He's
mentioned
introduced.
maybe a little bit, but not necessarily. And 2, he's not necessarily looked at. And they kind of, in 3, I hate to say this, in 3 they kind of ignored his character writing from 1. Because
Okay.
now suddenly he's like on the good side, and it's like, you do remember that
No,
he
no,
was
no.
a part of the reason why this is all going on. He made the bloody Armageddon blade and gave it to Azrael. He's
No,
part
no,
of the
but
reason why. Why is he suddenly acting like a good guy and saying, lol, I'm helping the humans now?
no, but you can see because you have to look at it in the context. Darksiders 3 takes place 100 years before War, before Darksiders 1. So back then, Ulfane, he knew that he broke. I think 100 years, but anyway, Ulfane broke the seals. No, he helped to destroy the seals. He probably understood that all of this that happened was his mistake. He was guilty of it, and he tried to help humanity as best as he could. But
I'll give you
knowing
that,
that,
yeah.
but
I'll
knowing
give
that
you that
humans are
for
weak and
sure.
stuff. Listen, then at the end of Darksiders 3, Fury told War that dude, I'm giving spoilers to Darksiders 3, man. Oh, don't.
I mean,
Whoops.
it is hard to talk about Darksiders without talking about
Okay,
the other
okay.
games.
So basically,
So,
all
yeah.
right. So I won't say what happened then. Yeah, we'll talk about that in Darksiders 3 podcast. But yeah,
Start
so
playing Darksiders 2. Get through 3.
right. So Darksiders 1 takes place 100 years afterwards. Yeah, when War is finally coming back. So that's why the Watcher said at the beginning of Darksiders 1, it's been a century. Yeah. Fury was sent down in Darksiders 3 right after the whole war happened. Yeah. Now we're waiting 100 years later when War finally goes back to the Earth to understand what's happened. You see? So
There is one thing
Ulfane
in
was on
Darksiders 3 I am a bit disappointed.
Ulfane was on Earth for
Well, 2
100
things.
years, and he just saw the last of humanity just die. Yeah, he's been stuck there. Of course, like he's probably lost his mind now. Yeah, and that's why he's like very rough and edgy in Darksiders 1 as opposed to Darksiders 3 where he's like more softer, more calm, more helpful. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can understand the whole change in character back then from how he was now in Darksiders 1. Yeah. So if you look at it in that context, it makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually am. I understand this actually. I'm actually like internalizing it.
What do you guys think about the Watcher? Do you guys like the character the Watcher, like, and Mark Hamill's
He's
performance and all that?
Mark Hamill's performance is absolutely wonderful. He's a character that's easy to love to hate.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I love the Watcher because he does such a good job.
At
Yeah,
being a piece of crap.
yeah, and you hate him
Yeah.
because you just want to see him get destroyed.
You just want to see
Yeah.
him go le bouche. You just want to see him, yeah, make him go bye bye.
That's why I was so happy when Samayo just like backhanded the Watcher
Right.
and
He
War
was
just
like,
sucker punched him in the face in it before.
oh, when Samael backhand the Watcher, that guy flew like a rag doll. My gosh.
That was good, man. I
Be silent, filth! Ka! Like, oh, look, there he goes! Whee! If only you flew farther.
Great. So,
Yeah, I don't like him.
So you do that fight, and against the, what was it called? The Straga? No.
Louis Straga, yeah, the big monster.
Yeah.
Big
Okay,
guy
yeah.
who lifts up the street and you have
Yeah.
to throw cars at him for reasons.
Yeah, that boss fight, just,
Alright.
it was alright. It feels very gamey. Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be like, how should I say,
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be cinematic, where you're like, oh, he's big, and oh, look, he's lifting up the street. You're supposed to be impressed by his size and the scale and the and like having to use the environment to take him down at the beginning part of the game. Basically, he is our tutorial boss to like teach us like, use the car, make him come down, go over to him 3 times, hit die, the end, you know.
So, like I
Uh,
said, disappointing.
well, Darksiders is great, and I love it to death, but it can't be perfect.
So after you fight him, you start to lose your power. Uh, what exactly triggered that? Like,
The
I know
charge.
you,
Is go on.
huh?
Sorry, yeah, you can continue. I
Oh,
thought you
so,
finished your question.
because I know you hear like a horn sound, and then all that starts to take place. You start to get weak.
Mhm. Yeah, so that was caused by the Charred Council. So near the end of Darksiders 1, you learned that it was the Charred Council who sent war down
Right.
during the
Yeah.
time of the Armageddon, right? Not
And
because the seventh seal was broken,
Yeah.
and
right?
they said we will send one for whom vengeance is reason enough.
So
Basically, what they did was they sent War down. They did give him a call. They just didn't call the other three, and basically let him take the fall.
yeah,
And that's why when he lost his powers, that's how they let him take the fall. That they stripped him of his powers so that he can still be thinking, "Oh, I serve the council only," because the council is the only one that cares about balance. When in actual reality, they only care about keeping their own power.
Right.
yeah. So that's pretty much it. They sent
They
war
rang
down.
the they rang the power of war begone horn.
Yeah, so they sent war down. They wanted war to die there, so that war would want revenge against Straga, and that
Right.
revenge would fuel war to find out what happened, how did the seals get broken, and then all of a sudden be left intact in the end. So this was the Charred Council's plan. So they're the ones that must have pulled the horn to weaken war during that time, so that he could die and be on this quest for vengeance, so that they can find out for themselves, like how did all of this happen.
Man.
And it's like he was riding unbidden by the council, even though he was bidden by the council, essentially. He was on like a basically send me back and then you're like and then I will fail and your demons will have carried out your sentence for my betrayal, quote unquote. But like they basically sent him out on this unsanctioned quest, even though hypocritically as it was sanctioned by the council. That's why we don't have all of our powers.
Yeah.
Because the council's like, yeah, go back, but we're not letting you have all your power. Teehee. Have fun with that, War. Oh, by the way, your horse is gone. Like, what? Why? Where did you put him? Like, did they just say, okay, Ruin, drop, and then put him in the desert, and Ruin just go, nay? Where the hey am I? And like, and of course there's like the Chaos Eater where Chaos Eater's like, I was put in lava for some reason. I don't know. And I don't know, there's like a lot of things that they did. And I remember going, wouldn't it be interesting if they did include Ruin in the beginning part of the game? So on one playthrough I thought I'm gonna press the summon horse button. It didn't work. Dang it.
That is strange that they didn't do anything of Ruin at the beginning.
Yeah,
Like,
it would have been nice if we could get on Ruin at full power and see what Ruin is like at full power. Instead of us going, hi, you've been, we found you in this place that you weren't protected by this demon, yes, but chances are, every single day for these lesser demons' entertainment, they put them out there every single day to fight whatever on Ruin, so Ruin is probably ridden badly, not badly, but lost a lot of energy due to overuse, I guess. Because who knows what happened in that arena every single day for those 100 years.
True. Yeah.
And who knows what happened. That's one thing I am disappointed about in Darksiders 3, and I'm sorry I'm going to spoil this for you.
Alright.
We don't get to learn a lot of why certain things were happening, why was Ruin in this arena in the first place, and why was Samael imprisoned. We don't get why he was imprisoned. Like, yeah, we have like this little like, I don't approve of the company my master keeps. Like he
Hmm.
says something like that, but it's like, oh, so you're imprisoned because you don't like what your like the company that your master keeps? That's kind of petty, don't you think?
Right.
Like, okay, that's there's got to be more of a reason. There has to be like a better reason why Samael is imprisoned. And I was thinking, what would make like what would make the most sense for Samael to be imprisoned is what if he disliked the Destroyer so much that he's like, humanity, I'm on your side, and he tries to help them out, and
That
that's
would never
why
happen. That would never
that
happen.
that would be interesting though, wouldn't it? It would
That
be an interesting thought. It
would
would
be
actually be,
interesting, but it
yeah.
would never happen. I don't think. I think. Ah man, if I can remember correctly, because Samael does mention something. Yeah, I think it was what you said, but there was a bit more to it where, um, yeah, he didn't want to serve Abaddon, the Destroyer, who was the Destroyer at that time.
Yeah, he doesn't want to serve the
Yeah.
Destroyer. Like, that
So
can't be the reason why he's imprisoned. Like, the only thing that I think would be is, like his power being a threat to the Dark Prince himself. And that's the only reason why I think he would be imprisoned. And that, again, that is a very petty reason. And I don't think anybody in Darksiders is petty, save for the Watcher.
no, but they would only do that because if he has the power to rival the throne, to rival the Dark Prince, then he would obviously want to fight the Dark Prince. Yeah. And so it makes sense for them to split up his power into different chosen, the bosses that you fight throughout the game. Yeah, because if him at full,
War was
I
right.
I
Master
wish
chose poorly.
I wish you could have fight Samael at full power, man. That would have been a good boss fight. At least I hope so. Maybe not in Darksiders 1, but yeah.
I would like for us to be able to have two things. I want the cake and I want to be able to eat it too when it comes to Samael. I would like to have us have the ability to fight him, but also like have him fight alongside us because again, he is not into the whole thing that's going on with the lore of this game. Samael's like, nah, I don't like Abaddon. Nah, I don't like that Lucifer is doing this and that. Nah, Lilith can fudge right off. Like, I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of untapped lore and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. There definitely is. And maybe because it was like the first game, they just didn't have the resources to do it. Like, there are
Possibly.
definitely some parts that feel like padded or rushed. But,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
wish that
nah,
there was like that. It was a lot more to use with the horses, especially. I really do want more horse love.
I don't think the game feels rushed or anything. I just think since it was their first time making a game like this, they never really had the correct blueprint. I mean, they had the right idea with the combat because the combat is spectacular. So there's clear inspiration from games like Devil May Cry
oh
and
yeah.
such. But at the same time, when it came to other aspects, it was still their first attempt making a game like this. Perhaps I don't know if what other games they've made previously, if there's anything resembling a hack and slash game of that kind of caliber. But it just shows because in Darksiders 2, they pretty much got almost everything right in that game. So
Even like
yeah,
the characters and everything, they fleshed out a
characters
lot
are
more.
characters are written amazingly. The script is still fantastic. The settings are much more beautiful to look at compared to Darksiders 1. Yeah, there's so much variety in
Oh,
the characters. Everything is
this
just
was their
so.
first game.
Oh, this was their first
Like,
game ever.
yeah,
Aren't you
yeah.
looky there?
Wow, man. In that case, they've done a
Yeah,
fantastic job. Yeah, man. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, looky
absolutely.
there, looky that. That is absolutely phenomenal.
That's surprising. That's very surprising. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Huh.
that's beautiful. I like it. I
And
like it a lot.
Darksiders 2 being, like, for me, one of the greatest hack and slash games of all time. One of the best sequels I've ever played. Ever. So,
Huh. Yeah,
yeah, it just shows.
Darksiders 1 and 2 were the only games they've ever developed. Ever. So
Real shame. Real
yeah,
shame.
that is a shame. Yeah,
That's
'cause
these guys are what you get when talent. Darksiders is what you get when real talent comes your way
oh yeah,
and
oh yeah.
genuinely like makes something out because they made something beautiful with their first game.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Truly, genuinely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So the where? Oh,
Are we
I
still
was gonna
talking
bring
about the
up.
beginning, yeah? Because we're like 1 hour and 20 minutes in.
Well, I'm thinking that we're just gonna talk about the game broadly, like we have been. I think that's fine. Yeah,
I'm just messing about you, man.
because
Because if this is still the beginning section, yeah, we got a
yeah,
lot to
oh
talk
yeah.
about, yeah.
But I
Oh
think
boy.
because we covered a lot already. Let's see what other specific. Cool. Let's talk about the cathedral a little bit and the first like whole area, Tiamat and all that.
Hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
For a first dungeon, I think the cathedral is very atmospheric and very yeah, it's very atmospheric and cinematic, especially with the fight between Tiamat and our first ride. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's very cinematic and I like again I like the atmosphere. I like the feel of how the like how it's raining and the water is running down everything. Like as a game developer myself, I haven't really made a game, but I am going to. But I'm just getting used to calling myself that. As a game
Don't worry, we'll
developer
call you that.
myself, awesome, thank you. As a game developer myself, I like the paying attention to things like that, where like I pay attention to like the texture and how things like are animated and how they move because it's absolutely gorgeous in my opinion. As an opening dungeon, the cathedral really does make a very good impression. It really does. It's like
oh yeah,
this is Darksiders. You're gonna see things fighting or chasing after you
and it
in the
helps.
background as well and the foreground.
And you get the crossbow here too, which is fun to use, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, especially when you get Ricochet. That one's a nice one.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
Foggy.
I do want to definitely mention one thing. So we're talking about the cathedral specifically, but I will mention one thing which ends up being an issue that stems throughout this entire game.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the fact that the cathedral, when introduced, looks cool, and you have some fun traversing through it. But the problem is that it gets stale. Yeah, and this is an issue with Darksiders because there's two massive highlights for me in Darksiders, and that's the combat and the cutscenes, right? Cutscenes because I love the character interactions, I love the characters, I love the script, and you just want to see what happens. And the story is very interesting to me. The gameplay, because the gameplay itself is fantastic for reasons I've already mentioned earlier. But in between all of that is just nothing. It's
It's
boring.
puzzle after puzzle, basically, and you're trying to break into the cathedral more than actually fight the chosen. You don't necessarily follow your bird friend into battle. Your bird is basically just fighting, and you're like, okay, ask Lord Church now. So I understand like where he's coming from there.
Yeah, so that's the thing about me in this game is because it's fun when you reach those points, but in between all of that, it's just boring. Like for example, even outside of the cathedral, like there's some enemies you can't fight. For example, when you go into the Iron Canopy where the spider boss fight is, right? And all you're
Hmm.
fighting all the spiders and there's all these webs and stuff. There's these enemies that you can't fight at all, and you have to like run from them or do some like tricky traversal in order to avoid them for the time being. But you can't even fight them
Is it the
until
hangy
you,
dudes?
You're talking about
yeah,
the. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
until you get the abyssal chain. And it's just
yeah.
like, well, why?
Oh, the
Yeah.
hang big spiders. I thought you were talking about the guys that just grab you out of
Oh no,
nowhere.
no, not those things, not those things. Because I wouldn't consider those to be enemies, more like just like an environmental trap kind of thing.
Environmental
Yeah,
hazards, yeah.
yeah.
Talking about the
But
things on the ceiling that grab you.
Yep,
it's
that's what
like,
we were
Yeah.
talking
bro,
about.
you're playing as war that's meant to be causing all of this destruction and chaos. It's meant to be chaos everywhere. Yeah, that's what we're made for. I don't want to. And but one of my friends made this criticism, and he's absolutely right, man. You're one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and you move from place to place so slowly without your horse.
Mm-hmm.
It gets stale, it gets boring. You really wish you can meet that next you come across that next cutscene or that next huge combat encounter, because those are the only things that really hold up this game. Yeah, the puzzles are really good. I do enjoy the puzzles, don't get me wrong. If you're a puzzle person and you like intellectual uh things here and there,
Yeah,
then
yesterday
That's
you were
great
like,
for
I
you.
felt yesterday you were like, my IQ is growing.
yeah, so basically when you reach the Black Throne, you're doing all of these portal puzzles, and I was like, yeah, bro, I feel my IQ increasing when I
Oh
do
yeah.
these puzzles. Yeah,
My brain is growing
yeah,
in mass. Oh, brain food,
yeah.
num num.
That's how
But
I
it's
feel.
just like in between all of those puzzles of the few puzzles that you come across, the combat and the cutscenes, it's so barren. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the issue of this. That's the main issue of this game.
I
Mm.
wouldn't.
What
I
how
wouldn't
does
say that
this
it's stale in that way. I would say it just needed. I think it needed to open up a little bit more because Darksiders is a very closed-in kind of game where you like have this little area with different vignettes on it
yeah.
that you explore through.
I,
What I would have liked is it for it to be a bit more open and to let the horseman be more of a horseman.
I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
that because, like, for example, with Darksiders 3, yeah, it's pretty much the same as Darksiders 1 in terms of its gameplay presentation. So they're both interconnected worlds. You can go anywhere you want, whenever you want, once you unlock the areas, right? But in Darksiders 3, there's so much more vibrance, there's so much more color, there's so much more interesting features throughout the worlds. In Darksiders 1, you don't really have that. You know what I mean? It feels very bland. In
A lot of reptile
Darksiders,
ways.
yeah, in Darksiders 3, the world feels more alive. It feels a lot more interesting. Yeah, in many aspects. Like, anyway, I won't talk too much about Darksiders 3, but I'm just giving some examples. There's Even though I don't think the combat in Darksiders 3 is as good as Darksiders 1, yeah, the world itself, the environments, it feels much more alive, much more fresh, much more interesting to traverse than the world of Darksiders 1. That's my only criticism. That's one of the big criticisms that I have.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It
Like, you can tell me, Justin, like, what area do you truly find memorable? And I don't mean memorable in terms of like, oh, I remember this place. I mean like stand out. It's like, wow. Do you remember that place in Darksiders? Do you remember that place in Darksiders? Like,
really the
because
only
me,
one that comes to mind is the Ashlands.
yeah, I would even say
The
the
Ashlands
Ashlands
are
for me,
mine.
honestly.
The Ashlands are mine for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
It's
only thing
definitely
Ashlands
I
are my
can
baby.
The only thing I can remember from the Ashlands is that sick arena fight. That's it. But the actual area itself is boring for
yeah,
me.
uh, it did get tedious climbing up those wooden structures and doing the same thing for each one of them. But I like the Ashlands after you complete it, really, and it opens up with, you can ride around and you get your horseback enemies there too. It it does suck first getting there, in my opinion. Like actually getting through it.
Fair enough. But even once again, I mean, I'm not trying to convince you anything. You have your opinion, no
I,
problem. But once you even have Ruin and you're traversing the Ashlands with Ruin, there's nothing like there to do.
oh yeah,
So
no, there's not.
yeah. So that's kind of the point I'm making here. It's just everything is so barren. Even
Hmm.
with Darksiders 3, around every corner there's items to collect. yeah,
Yeah.
and everything feels vibrant. Everything, you're always looking around, like you know, it keeps you on your toes a lot more, and things just look so much more beautiful to look at. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to that
Darksiders
specific.
3, I just want my horse back. Sorry, I'm always salty for Rampage.
No,
No
I feel
horse in
that.
3?
Hmm.
Yeah, but no spoilers, no spoilers.
I'm not
Okay.
spoiling nothing.
Alright. Also, whenever you're fighting these big bosses, like, well, your main goal is to take the hearts of the four. Uh, there's Tiamat. What are the other ones?
There's Tiamat, there's
The Griever.
The
The
Griever.
yeah, Grieva, there's Silithia,
Silitha.
yeah, yeah.
Silitha, and there's
Stygian.
Straga.
Stygian.
Did you? Yeah.
Stygian and Straga. No, oh yeah, not Straga.
Straga
Draga's.
is a chosen, but he's not somebody who you need to go to Samael after.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the Griever. Honestly, what did you guys the Griever? I mean, it has that. You obviously have to ram the thing into it. Pretty
I think the most
simple.
memorable thing about the Griever boss fight is the amazing soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
See,
this
that's
good.
exactly what I mean. There's nothing memorable about this boss either. Once you hit the, oh my God, man, why of all the things you have to ram a whole like frame car thing into him? That is how you handle a chosen boss fight? Seriously? You gotta be kidding me, bruv. Just ram it into his leg, bruv.
Telling you, rescue metal.
Oh my days, man. Maybe you know what, Justin? Maybe you're right. Maybe vehicles are the best weapon in the game after all. Okay. Oh my days.
Oh shit. Also, when it comes to the enemies in this game, I feel like you have those big brute like elemental guys, like the blue ones and the lava, the fire red ones. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean the ones that crawl on all fours?
Um, I'm more talking about the guys. There's also like the poisonous ones too, like the
Are you
big
talking
green
about
ones.
the big fat guy that blows up when you hit him?
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, that's an undead fella. I forget what they're called.
Oh, so they like poison you?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
Then
okay.
there's the poison guy that you throw your crossblade at and he pops like a pimple.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem I have with these enemies is kind of the same problem I had with like God of War 2018. Is like you said earlier, uh, kind of reskins on everything. I wish the designs are cool for each enemy, but I just wish there was more other than just a color swap. Because you do get kind of tired of seeing the same, 3 executions over and over again, no
Yeah.
matter how badass they are.
Yeah, not just that. It's also they use the exact same movesets, so it's just like, well, why would you do that then? I mean, same, just different skin. They use the exact same moves. It's just like, well, you could have. I'd rather you make like 3 more different types of enemies than see the same type of a different skin. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, I agree.
Yeah, more
So do
enemy
I.
variety is always nice.
Did you guys find much use for, did you guys use Mercy that much?
Yeah, Mercy is good,
I
man.
did. He
Uh,
did.
the,
He's fun to
so
use.
in combat, so Mercy is weak, but that doesn't matter depending on how you use Mercy. Because, for example, like now in for those of you who don't know that are going to be listening to this, there's these things in hack and slash games. There's this concept called cancels. Okay, and basically what a cancel is, it's performing a move or an ability which uh, rejects another ability, so to speak. So one move cancels another move. Yeah, does that make sense? So for
Yeah.
example, you can do a sword attack, and when you press block, you can stop the sword attack and just immediately start blocking. So the block cancels the sword attack. Yeah. So that's one example. So in this game, Darksiders, Mercy is fantastic for things like cancels because if you're doing an attack which knocks the enemy far away or into the air. You can sometimes you're locked in place and you can't move or anything or use another weapon, but what you can do is shoot Mercy to cancel the recovery frames or cancel out the animation. Cancel out the recovery frames of an animation and start linking different kinds of moves and combos together and experiment more with your combos. So Mercy is good from an advanced hack and slash standpoint, but from a casual, I guess, yeah, you wouldn't really see much use for Mercy, to be honest.
I know after this, I want to go on YouTube and look up like
Dude,
advanced combat
just
on
come,
those.
honestly, just come to my stream because that's the best thing you're going to be seeing right now. I'm telling you.
I will. I will.
When is this stream going to take place, if I may be so bold to ask? Because I
Yeah.
gotta cook.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tonight, but
Well, you'll give us a shout when you do the streaming.
yeah, because I know I was thinking of training first and do some I need to get just do some training, but I don't know if there's no time for that, I might just eat because I'm feeling kind of hungry, and then I might just stream after I finish eating. So
Oh, yeah, we should be almost done here. I think we only there's only a few more things to really discuss. Let's see. How do you say this fighter's name? Silitha?
Yep.
yeah, Silipha.
Silitha,
Okay.
yeah.
I think out of all the four of the Chosen, I think this one has the best characterization. I like the interaction you have with her, but I do think it was the easiest boss in the game by like far, by far.
I think she was one of the better chosen boss fights because guess what? You can fight her normally.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah.
you can't do that with many of the other ones. Straga is very linear. The Griever is no, actually, yeah, the Griever is very linear.
Yeah.
What else is there? There's
The Stygian, I understand, is linear, but me being the horse girl
Stygian
that
is
I
very.
am, I just liked chasing him on,
Yeah, I do like the
rather
Stygian
her.
fight.
I
I
don't
like
like
chasing her on the horse. I like horseback fighting. That's what I wish there was more of in Darksiders, is horseback fighting.
For me,
You know,
the only cool thing about the Stygian is the finishing move. That's it.
how did you finish the Stygian off?
Basically, you run right at her,
It was censored
and
by sand.
War jumps into her and slices her up from the inside.
Right.
So there's that.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's
but
only
I
two.
like chasing after her on my horse because I love being able to chase after things on horseback. What can I say?
Yeah, so it's mainly just Tiamat and Silver that you can fight normally
Not
on the
really.
Chosen.
Tiamat
Even
flies away.
No, but after you do that, she can't, you remove her ability to fly, so she has to fight on the ground.
yeah, whenever you
Oh yeah, the
bomb her.
second half, right? I remember.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. But once again, they're not outstanding. They're just better because you can play the game like how you've always played the game thus far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true.
Let's see. Okay, I have my notes here. Is the Harvester Death Scythe?
Yes.
Yes.
Why does it say why Vulgrim has it?
Honestly, there
That's
is
actually a
no
good
lore
question. No,
about
yeah.
why Vulgrim has it.
Okay.
It's kind of sort of like a couple of mysteries as to why Strife's guns end up where they end up.
Okay, right.
So like
So
there's a couple of mysteries inside of the Darksiders lore, but personally I think after the end of Darksiders 2, Vulgrim just found it and said, "Lol, I'm just gonna sell it," and War just so happened to buy it.
You know what? That's probably what happened.
I know, with
Um,
Strife's guns though, I think Strife knows. Strife is very clever. So I
Oh
think
yeah, I know Strife like probably knows what's going on, which is what I think the actual Darksiders 4 should be about, is what is Strife up to?
yeah, the
What
thing
does
is,
he do? I want to know what he's up to.
people say that Strife is despite the fact that he's a crackpot. Yeah, he makes tons of jokes and he's very lighthearted. People claim that he's the wisest of the four horsemen, and from Darksiders 3, I can see why. Yeah, but
He's
Yeah.
one of the more empathetic towards humans of the horsemen, I believe.
Hmm.
He has the most empathy towards humans, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think Death and War cares more about honor. Death cares more about.
War.
And, but no, it's not just war, but he cares about doing good, making sure balance is maintained and stuff like that. Fury just cares about. She's kind of like me, adrenaline junkie. Yeah, wants a good rush, chaos, combat, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I love action, so I can't blame her. Yeah, and Stripe is kind of like me too. Makes loads of jokes at the worst times, and wise. He's a wise guy that you'd never expect. But yeah. Anyway,
I personally think all four of the horsemen have their wisdom in ways, and
Oh
also the
yeah.
fact that they're willing to learn, comparatively speaking to other factions inside of the game. The fact that the horsemen are willing to learn from both sides, or all three sides rather, it would make sense for them to be more empathetic towards humans,
hmm, hmm.
because they learn. They are more open to learning about themselves, learning about other things in order to maintain balance. Because balance is something to be maintained. It's not just fix it up once and leave it alone.
Hmm.
It's a constant, like, high maintenance kind of thing. Very, very high, like, how should I say?
It's like
It's
me, high maintenance. That's what you're trying to say.
well, high maintenance is what the balance is. You're supposed to, like, take care of it, maintain it, and, there's always somebody out there that's trying to tip the balance in their side, thus creating disbalance or unbalance or whatever.
I feel that.
So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot inside the Darksiders lore that the developers definitely need to explore. You can theorize, and I know I theorize a lot when it comes to what goes on inside of the lore of Darksiders. And it's honestly something that needs to be completed. To me, it's like a very open kind of. It's an open game in terms of like your creativity. If you like want to create your own characters and stories within it, you can. But it's also a very uh well encapsulated story, as in it's perfectly self satisfactory without anybody's input,
Yeah.
but is still open to your own like thoughts and interpretations as well. So it's pretty good at that.
Yeah, there's so much you could do with this, and I really hope that, Genesis isn't the end.
Yeah, I don't want that to be the end either.
But we'll find out. When isn't there supposed to be a THQ showcase soon?
Yes, people are hoping for like news on Darksiders. I'm kind of hoping, and yet at the same time, I'm not.
Right, don't get your
I'm
hopes
I'm
up.
going to be completely honest. I'm not expecting any more Darksiders games. It's just too. I don't know. It's like with me wanting a new Ninja Gaiden game. It's never happened, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never got another 3D Ninja Gaiden yet, and I've waited more than 10 years now. Okay? So it's just I don't know. You wish for it to happen, but you just don't see it happening, honestly.
Maybe be one of those things, and 20 years we'll all be surprised and have
20
it'll
years.
continue. Yeah.
20 years later, Darksiders 4, yay! Jess is still
Yeah.
somehow a fan, or the demon is still somehow a fan. Yep. I'm a fan. I'm gonna take my love for Darksiders to the grave.
Yeah, we'll get Darksiders 4, and then we'll get an Amazon TV series. It'll be great.
Aye, aye,
Oh,
Amazon
I
TV
don't know
series?
about
I
that
hope
one.
not.
No way, bro.
I
Nah.
hope not for the Amazon TV series. I think no.
Yeah, so we should be wrapping up soon. There's only a few more things I want to talk about. I did completely forget about the fight you have with yourself. I,
Oh yes,
Dark War.
that was
yeah,
actually one of the highlights of the game for me too. That
mine
was
mine
good.
too. I liked that fight a lot. It was great.
I wish it was longer.
Me
Oh
too.
man, when I was doing it, so maybe you can catch my stream quickly because I was playing that last night. Yeah, and I was basically what I was doing was when War when Shadow War went into his chaos, so we were fighting, and then Shadow War went into his chaos form. Then when I saw that I went into my chaos form, and we were both were just going at each other in chaos form. It was so sick, bro.
Hell yeah. Do you have your previous stream saved
It's
on
not
your channel?
saved, but it should still be there because it was just
Okay.
last night. So
All
it was
right.
just, oh man, that was good, man.
Have to check it out. Um, we haven't really talked about the Mask of Shadows, but there's not really too much to talk about there.
I
You
feel
just get
like,
to see hidden
mm,
paths and stuff. But
yeah, the Mask of Shadows, I feel is a huge wasted opportunity because it could have
hmm
added like a whole new dynamic to things, and you can maybe like see loads of different things, new paths, maybe find some new enemies. I don't know. It's something you can really be creative with,
Something that would
but
make even old areas a lot more interesting.
yeah,
hmm
but
Yeah.
it just doesn't take advantage of that, which is a real shame.
Yeah, I noticed when I was going through my cleanup, getting all the stuff I missed, there was like maybe one Mask of Shadow point in the previous areas.
Yeah.
Like one in each one, maybe.
That's actually another criticism that I want to bring about this game is because, for example, there's so many areas that you can't go to, which have these special items like limestone shards or wrath cores. But it's like by the time you get there, you're nearly finishing the game. So you don't really need this stuff anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get everything, you're all like, cool. Like, it'll make the final boss, like, super easy to take down, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But it's just like you're near the end of the game now. There's like barely any use left for any of this stuff.
yeah, I was going 100% the game, and I got pretty close, but I had like three of those artifacts left, and I was like, I'm, I'm, I'm not really even going to bother with these, because there's not really a point. I think I got everything I wanted to buy. I got
Yeah,
my bit, you know, I,
e- exactly. And with no new game plus feature, you're just like, well, what's the point?
and even with like, I got all 10 pieces of the Abyssal. It looks amazing, but I only got to use it for like the last half hour of the game.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's another big problem about this game.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing about the Abyssal Armor. Once you do have it, you can start new games with it
Oh, you can?
off the
Yeah,
bat.
oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can do that, but
Okay, that's good.
yeah,
I didn't know that. All
but
right.
that's pretty much the only thing that can carry over. You know,
Mm.
you lose all your life upgrades, you lose all your wrath upgrades, you lose all of your combat abilities. So it's like, well, it's not a proper new game plus, is it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, real shame.
Pretty much.
Got like two more things I want to touch on. The Black Throne. Um,
Uh,
what'd you
Yeah.
guys think about this whole section with the Void Walker puzzles and all that?
I think it's good, but at some points I feel like once again it just drags on for a bit too long.
I
it
agree. Yeah,
does.
it
And
does. Especially.
Asriel, especially in the center of the Black Throne, Asriel, if you stay too long there, just repeats his lines over and over and over, and it just makes you want to not set him free.
Yeah.
Where you're like, shut up! I'm trying! Like, for one's like, the beams, redirect the beams times 200, and you're all like, I get it! What do you think I'm doing? I'm trying, oh my god! And then one final beam and I'll be free times another 200, and you're all like, ah!
Yeah, so once again it just goes back to my point where the Black Throne, it wouldn't feel like it would be dragging on too long if there was more interesting things between just doing the main objective.
But it has your
Yeah.
favorite thing, which is you have to fight three Tower Guardians by hitting them three times each on
Yeah,
top
I know.
of
I
their
just love. I know that was the best part. That was the best part of the entire game for me right there.
head.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that was totally
yeah,
this
that was
part.
amazing. You should have seen what happened to me when I was trying to fight them. Demon, you saw what happened. That was some glitchy nonsense right there, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you flied right off at one point. You died
Oh,
while floating away.
I was
it's,
doing that last night, yeah, and
when you
bro,
like try to land on top of them,
yeah, dude,
it's touchy.
no, when I was trying to this is I don't know how it is in the original, yeah, but I was playing the I can't remember, but I was playing the War Mastered Edition, yeah, and I was trying to land on their heads, and all of a sudden their heads are made out of lava for some reason, and I can't land on it,
Yep.
yeah, and except on certain intervals, so I don't understand, but other times it's perfectly fine. Yeah, even when they're not attacking. I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah, my
thank.
strategy was as I was getting close to the top of them, I would just keep hitting circle so I could like, it will
Yeah.
trigger the move eventually
The
somehow.
animation.
The animation, yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah, so thanks for that. Thanks for reminding me about my favorite part of the whole game.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate that.
Those
Um,
lovely tower guardians. Oh my gosh. I have never seen anybody have that much trouble, even on apocalyptic. I never saw anybody have that much trouble with
Hey,
the tower
I
guardians.
never, hey, listen, I never had that much trouble, okay? To be honest, yeah,
No,
it
no,
was,
no, not that
yeah,
much. I'll let you have it. It's
yeah.
alright.
oh man, I wish I would have watched that.
No, it wasn't that bad. Trust me, she's making it out to look to sound a lot more bad than it actually was, okay? I was pretty good.
Yeah, but you were
Well,
also playing on easy.
Oh,
no,
no,
he's
no,
on
no, no. I'm
apocalypse.
a fun. Listen, don't. Listen, yeah. Just don't do me like that, bro. All right. I will
uh,
leave this
uh,
podcast right now.
was it is
uh,
it pretty
it
difficult on
was.
apocalyptic?
Oh, dude, everything hits you like a tank.
Yeah, I
Imagine
played on
you've got like,
normal, so
imagine you got like four, because you know when you have life, you have those, your life bar fills up, then it fills up one skull.
yeah,
Yeah. Taking one hit takes like four life bars.
yeah.
Yeah. So it means close to nothing in this game. You die in like three hits anyway, depending on the enemy.
It's fun to play on those difficulties though, because you really have to master like pretty much everything in the game.
Well, I started on the hardest difficulty in this playthrough because I already knew how to play the game. I'm
Yeah,
experienced with hack and slash games too. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm going to be I'm setting myself up to create combo videos and eventually Darksiders style videos, kind of like my latest video, my Bayonetta style video that I linked to you. Yeah, so I want to make
yeah,
that one something like that for Darksiders. So I want the enemies to have as much health as possible, so I can mess around with them and do as much stuff as possible. And that's exactly why I chose apocalyptic difficulty.
that's cool. Oh yeah. Um,
Well, for me, the Black Throne wasn't necessarily the funnest thing, as I said. It was just constant repetitive lines, and for me, like some of the puzzles really did like make me go, my brain don't want to do this no more.
yeah, I had a couple
So
moments like that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, play a little bit of Darksiders. Oh, I forgot I'm in the middle of doing all these Void Walker puzzles. Damn.
yeah, well, it's not that the puzzles are bad. It's just that as
They're good puzzles. They
Styles
really.
said, like when the Black Throne went on for a little too long, and some sections did repeat really strangely. And
Yeah.
as much as I love Darksiders, the Black Throne is one of my least favorite locations. The Ashlands will forever be my favorite in Darksiders 1 because at least there, like, it feels like I progress there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I get my horse, I get the ability to, like, fight the Stygian, I get the ability to, like, fight in an arena. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm doing something as war, whereas in the Black Throne, just having this angel repeat his lines to me constantly and having to do like three is the rule basically, and having to do that is just downright annoying. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just
It's like when Fury in Darksiders 3 mentions it. You know, she says, "It's always why is it always free? It's always free, isn't it? Why is the
Oh
character always
yeah,
take shorter?" She actually says
Fury
that in
breaks the
Darksiders
fourth
3.
wall, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's all like, it's always three, isn't it? Three swords, three this isn't that. It's always coming in threes. And the watcher of that game is all like, what the heck?
He's like,
What
what
do
you on
you mean
about,
by
bro?
that?
Yes.
And it's like, oh, she's like, oh, you don't know.
Hell yeah.
You don't know. Yeah, like, that's Fury. Fury's like, yeah, you don't know. You don't know
Don't worry
what
about
I'm
it.
on about. Don't worry. It's fine. Dumb nut. Like, it's something, honestly, and I don't really like the Blackthorn too much. Those
Yeah.
Ashlands are my favorites, for sure.
So I think now we just really have to talk about the ending. The only thing we haven't really touched on. I think it, like, especially the final scene, whenever you see the other horsemen coming down, and just the way it sets everything up. I went immediately after the game and started looking up stuff about the lore and the other games and stuff. Like, it made me pumped to want to know what's happening and the rest of it.
Oh yeah, a lot of the Darksiders fandom wants to know what goes on next. It was like, what happens next? And there's like 3 other games are all like, we'll tell you what happens during. We'll tell you what's going on during, I guess. Like, no, we want to know what happens next, not during. Stop that.
Yeah, it really surprised me learning that we don't see what happens next, ever.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because I love it because it's epic.
Yeah.
At the same time, I hate it because it's not a proper conclusive ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't
It's not
like
an
games.
ending where it's like,
Yeah. I don't like
it's
a
not an
game.
ending where,
That's
sorry, I'll finish. I'll let you finish first. Sorry,
Yeah,
you
so I
first.
was gonna say it's an ending that sets up a new beginning rather than an actual definitive ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't like that, then maybe I would not be hoping for a Darksiders 4. If it was satisfying enough to say, okay, I feel like this is the end. There'll
Yeah.
be no more. But it's just not like that. Anyway, yes, Demon, you can go ahead now.
It's an ending that acts like a cliffhanger. When he says the final words is "No, not alone," and then the 4 horsemen come in, and then the credits start. You're all like, "Oh, goody!" And it gets you hyped up, and you're like,
Right.
"Yay, we're gonna fight the credits!" Like, oh,
And then you got, you're killing the
Darksiders 2
Watcher.
is coming out soon. Yay! That's like
killing the
Darksiders
Watcher
2
and
is coming out.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll let you go in a second here. I was just like, yay, Darksiders 2 is coming out. And it's like, well, this is what's happening during. Okay, Darksiders 3 is coming out. This is the same way. It's like, oh no, Genesis. Oh, this is a prequel.
How far?
Can we just?
When does Genesis take place?
It's
Like,
a prequel to absolutely everything. Like,
Oh,
this
is it?
is
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's a prequel. Before humans do the Earth, I guess. Like,
Oh,
it's
interesting.
weird. It's a very weird thing. And as I said, like I love Darksiders, but sometimes even the developers don't pay attention to their own lore, and like the things that they say are canon are suddenly not canon. Like in the comic books, they're like, "Oh, this is canon." Wait, no, it's not. And you're like, "What? You're ruining things. Stop." Just let me have like a conclusive bit of like evidence and stuff here. Don't just say, "Well, this is canon," and then literally in the next like update to Darksiders go, "Nah."
That's the problem when you have, Darksiders 1 and 2, stories by certain people, and then Darksiders 3 and Genesis are by different people, and, the comic is by somebody of their own.
Basically, they're all fan fictions now.
They act as such, but they pick and choose from the comics and the novel what they include inside of the game, and it's just like, you need to understand, devs, that when you say something isn't canon and then take something from that non-canon thing and suddenly make it canon, whilst also at the same time saying it was canon to begin with, then say no it's not, and then say it is, you're not really like paying attention to your own lore and to your own characters. Because in the Abomination Vault, which was at one point canon, Fury had an entirely different personality than what we get in the Darksiders 3 game. She just suddenly changed, and it's like, well, that's because the novel's not canon. Oh, really? Then why do you keep taking bits and pieces from the novel then, and putting it in the game if it isn't canon? So don't, like, the devs need to understand more about staying true to their writing and to their own lore.
Yeah, instead now it's just all over the place. Now it's up to the fans.
Well, it's not all over the place. I just think, yeah.
It needs a lot more organization, is what I think it needs.
Yeah, man.
And commitment. Commitment and organization needs to take place when it comes to the Darksiders team, because they pick and choose too much.
I think for me, because I've only played the three Darksiders games, not Genesis. So for me, I just feel like I can piece everything together quite well, and I can understand what happens and what's going on. So it feels consistent to me. But I don't know, man. I'm not a super expert like Demon, who's read all the comics and everything. So from her perspective, I'm sure it might be a bit different. But for me, it seems okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like a huge mess, but whatever.
Watch, we'll read the comics and the novel, and we'll be like, wow, they fucked it all up.
Like, these are official things that they put out, and then they keep on changing whether or not it's canon. That's just the problem. Yeah, they have to make a choice and stick with it, or like, it's canon or it's not. Make up your choice.
Yeah.
Stop saying it is, but it isn't. But it kind of is, but it kind of is. You see, this thing happened, but this thing didn't. Like, you know, you guys are not really paying attention to your own lore, then, are you?
I just think the developers, I think they underestimate what all that means to the fans, you know? Like, I don't think they understand how much all that is, how much it means to the fans to have everything canon and to make sense.
Well, they don't understand, like, well, I get what you mean too, but they also need to understand that some fans pay very close attention. They pay very close attention and internalize everything you present them, and then they organize it chronologically in their mind, and it makes sense. Then all of a sudden you start taking away these bits and pieces and then putting them back, and then taking them away again constantly. That you make the fan confused about the lore, and it makes it hard for even your fan to be into what you're trying to give them, because you're constantly giving and taking and giving and taking. You're not being consistent, especially with things that aren't in the games.
So you see right here, Demon is subtly trying to describe herself, and vocalize her internal tears, She's currently in a lot of conflict right now.
It's not conflict. I actually just said, the devs are just not paying attention to their lore at this point, so it's whatever I make of it now at this point.
No, it's fine. Trust me. Don't worry.
That could be fine and fun too.
Hey, I want to make a Darksiders-like game myself. What can I say?
Oh, it's good,
definitely
man.
With more horse riding, that's for sure.
I mean, you can.
We're all looking forward to it. Yeah.
Good thing, the horsemen, angels, and demons aren't trademarked, copyrighted, so you can.
Making a Darksiders-like game is not going to be in the Darksiders universe unless, of course, THQ is like, we love your demon, please have her be a part of the canon. I'm like, and then what will you do? Say she is and then isn't, and then is, then isn't a part of everything? Like,
yeah.
She exists, but not really, but this part, like, come on, guys, just make up your mind.
You know what? Everything's canon.
There you go, fudge it. Everything's canon.
Oh boy.
I think we're good to wrap it up. I can't think of anything in the game that we haven't discussed. At least that I want to discuss. Could you guys think of anything that we missed?
Well, you did promise that we could plug
Oh
our
yeah, we're gonna get
stuff.
there. Yeah, yeah.
I can't think of anything else on the game. I think I've discussed pretty much everything I've wanted to discuss, really.
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty
Yeah,
well.
I'm on the
But
same page there. I think like we could stay and talk about details and this and that's about Darksiders for hours and hours, but we gotta like
Oh,
stay
actually,
time conscientious. Oh,
yeah, I would want to say one more thing. I'm very disappointed at the fact that the game only has one game mode, which is the campaign. I wish there was like a arena mode or a survival mode just to add to that gameplay value. That's pretty much it.
yeah, playing that arena part of the Ashlands really made it. I wanted more of that.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
something like that would be really cool, like a Bloody Palace from DMC. Just more game modes to actually, just something that we can enjoy a lot more. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's the only other thing I wanted to add.
yeah, more game modes would be fun. I also would like again more horse, please. I like my
yeah.
horse.
I think we all pretty much feel the same way about this. Yeah. Um. So that concludes our discussion on Darksiders. Here we'll have plenty more to say about 2, 3, and Genesis in the
When the
near
time
future.
comes.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah.
Darksiders 2. Well, I'm booked up till September, so maybe around like September, mid-September or something, we'll discuss Darksiders 2. Because I definitely want to play it after today's conversation.
Trust me,
Um,
Yep,
man.
I think
You're
you'll
in for
really
a huge
enjoy it.
treat. You're in for a
You'll really enjoy
huge
it.
treat, boy. I'm telling you, man, that game is just too sick.
hell yeah, this whole series is one of those series I've been meaning to play, but just never did it for some damn reason.
It's a great series, one with a lot of soul, and you will love Darksiders 2.
Hell yeah. Um, so I think we're good to do plugs now. Do you have anything you want to advertise?
Yo, guys, so um, I'm just known as the Stylesman. Yeah, you can find me on X, Twitter, YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. I'm normally streaming. I'm trying to make a consistent streaming schedule. And
I'll also get the link for your Twitch too. I can put everything in the description.
yeah, that's cool, man. No worries, bro. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So YouTube, Twitter, or was it X now?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not really posting too much on there at the moment. I've got a Reddit, but I just share a few things on there and Twitch. So yeah, it's the Stylesman. Come look me up, man. You're gonna be in for a treat if you're into like stylish things.
Hell yeah. I'll put those links down below. And how about you, Demon?
Um, well, I haven't created much of it yet, but I am starting a new brand? My apologies. I'm starting a new brand called Demon of the Four Productions. I am not created much of anything yet, but do look forward to seeing it in the near future.
Awesome. And yeah, I'll put
Where
that
where
on
would we
the.
find you though? Like what platforms would we find you?
It'll be mostly all social platforms, basically. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, things that I could show off what I'm working on and things that I can advertise what I'm intending on doing with this brand of mine.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. And after this episode, you guys just whatever links you want me to put up, I'll put them up for you so they can
That
find
is
you
very
all.
awesome. That is
Thanks,
very
man.
awesome.
Also, if you want to discuss any games or want to come on the podcast, I'm open to talk about whatever game you want. I don't care how small, big, old, new. I don't care if it's a Flash game. You know what? We'll do a Candy Crush episode. Whatever. Let's do it.
Best episode ever.
You can reach me at neverenoughgaming@outlook.com. So that is my email. And I think that concludes the episode.
Don't spam Justin with emails, guys. Well, he's one man.
Spam me
Only
with all the
one man.
emails.
Yeah. Alright. No, go
Alright.
for it. Go for it. Alright, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. I had a good time talking about good old Darksiders.
Thanks for
Yeah.
being on, guys.
No worries, man. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Blessings.
Peace.
Darksiders
We
1
got
takes
all the
place.
Darksiders podcasts. You've got some
Yeah.
work to do, Jason.
Yeah.